Hello, everyone. My name is Jaden Scott, and I go to Texas Tech University. I am a commercial music student, and I have got a new update on the censorship situation happening at our school. This was just sent out. It is an email sent to the TTU chairs, directors, area coordinators. Um, and what this is, it says, "Dear colleagues, attached is communication guidance for prospective graduate students and graduate students admitted after April 10th, 2026, regarding limitations on thesis dissertation research related to sexual orientation and gender identity." All of this has to do with the censorship memorandum that came out on April 9th of this year, 2026. And it is basically not only cutting a bunch of research and classes and degrees relating to what they call it SOGI, sexual orientation, gender identity. Not only is it doing that, it is in addition to a censorship memo that came out on December 1st from the Chancellor and the Board of Regents that talks about how all of these extra things that teachers can't talk about, all the restrictions that are placed on their lesson plans, and how they need to send in material every single time they want to present something, even if it's like, there's a whole lot. I made a whole other video about it. We're just going to talk about this email, because this email, I was informed it was sent, they're just following orders. This is from the dean, Mark Sheridan. I have been informed that he's just following orders. He's got orders from higher up, and he's just doing this to keep his job. This is not to harass Mark, but this is to point out what is coming from the top. And this is what is being told to the people under the Board of Regents, under the chancellors. You have to do this. This is what you have to do. Do not post or distribute the TTUS memo of April 9th, 2026. Communicate to prospective or newly admitted graduate students. The communication, must be targeted. So it's saying, a teacher cannot send out, "Hey, to all my students, this is our new ways that we're being censored in our lesson plans. These are the things that you will not be learning this semester." This is explicit instruction saying, hey, you do not tell your students about this. This is, again, yes, it's coming from the dean, but it is coming from higher, and he is the one that is being forced to send it out. Only departments or programs in which research/creativity that has a possible relationship to SOGI should send communications. If in doubt, send communications. Most of this is about graduate students and prospective graduate students. Like it said, if you came into the school continuing and students admitted April 10th, 2026 or before do not have limitations on their research/creative activity. So this is basically saying what the April 9th memo did. It limited what students can actually research and what they can do their dissertations on and their thesis stuff on. All that sort of stuff that I don't know that much about, because that is not where I'm at in school, so I don't really know that much about it. But that is in addition to classes being cut, teachers not being able to even teach about these sorts of things. So there are also, they talk about sending specific communication. You cannot do mass mailing. Communications to prospective graduate students may be through any combination of web posting, mass mailings, or individual mailings. That is prospective graduate students. So it's kind of saying on this next page, there's different responses that you need to use. And let's see. Step 1 solicits research/creative activity interest and determines the nature of the response. Step 2 of this communication program is a response to one of 3 scenarios. 1, student has no interest in SOGI research. 2, student may have interest in SOGI research, and we need to indicate the limitations of its conduct at Texas Tech. Or 3, student likely has interest in SOGI research, and we need to indicate our limitations and present options to the student. Use the provided templates with minimal customization. Example, specify program name, insert name/contact info for faculty contact. So I don't have these little responses. It looks like there's templates. So unless it's talking about this right here that I just read. But this is talking about templates. I don't have those, but it's just kind of interesting how it's like we're so censored, we're restricted to using templates to communicate with prospective students. Like, is that not weird? It's like a sales pitch. We're sales pitching. Don't say this certain thing or you could get in trouble. There's going to be somebody in each department that's appointed who like understands what SOGI centered, includes SOGI, all that sort of stuff is, and they're going to be the ones to kind of direct the communication. It's just really interesting, especially the first part where it says, do not post or distribute the Texas Tech University S memo of April 9th, 2026. I genuinely don't know what to do. I'm just keeping you updated, I guess, but it's like, guys, we gotta get our act together here. They do not want you to know about this. I'm telling you, the Chancellor, the Board of Regents, they do not want you to understand that they are sticking their grubby little hands in your classes, in my classes, and they are sifting through what they think is acceptable. Only one person out of the Board of Regents or the Chancellor has any teaching experience. Shelley Sweat was a public school teacher for 15 years. She's the only one. Everyone else, they're on the board of trustees of Atmos, or they manage oil rigs, or they're like the CEO of this place after being a trusted advisor at this other big company. That's what their experience is. They graduated from Texas Tech with bachelors in business. That's what they have. That's their experience. They're not experienced teachers. They're not professors. They did not go through school to get the degree to be teachers. Why are they sending out things like this? It's got Mark's name on it. This is not his decision. This is from the Chancellor and the Board of Regents. And it, we have to do something. Do you know what I'm saying? They're just devaluing everything, this entire school that I have been looking forward to being in for years. At least 2 years. I had a 1-up at first, but at least 2 years when I started school before I transferred here. Tell everyone that you know that this is happening, even if they don't go to school, because they need to know. The general population, especially around here, especially in Texas, they need to know that these things are happening. And there are going to be potentially entire generations of students who grow up with teachers who cannot teach them. Again, it's not just about sexual orientation or gender identity. They can't teach about civil rights issues. They can't teach about women's inequality issues. All of these things that did happen and we can objectively see happen, they still can't talk about it because it's too controversial. And they send their lessons in for approval and they get denied because the Board of Regents don't like what's in the lesson. They don't like that controversial history, even though it happened. That's what's going on. So, tell people what's happening. Also, last I checked, you can look up the April 9th censorship memorandum from the Chancellor. Just on Google, it comes up. So, do that and share that around, I guess.